Hello, this is a continuation of our tutorial series called Fusion 360 Simplified. In Lesson 3, we learn how to create motion links and motion studies of joints and how to animate those joint movements in the Render workspace. Today, we'll focus on the animation workspace. We're going to create a widget spinner to demonstrate this. The main part of a widget spinner is a ball bearing. We're not going to spend too much time creating a ball bearing in Fusion. Rather, we're going to borrow the CAD design of a ball bearing from this location online. Go to the Insert menu, go to McMaster Car Component. This is a commercial site that sells a lot of different mechanical components and makes the CAD designs available online. We can simply search for ball bearings and click here, ball bearings. Let's scroll down and find one with an open design. And scroll down again, find the right size. This one has an inner diameter of 8 millimeters, outer diameter of 22. That sounds right. Click on that. And instead of ordering it, we're going to go to Product Detail, where we'll find the CAD design. Scroll down. Here it is. You can save the CAD file either as a step file or a SAT file. Fusion accepts these files. Just say Save and press OK. Here's our ball bearing. Now we can hide the ball bearing. And let's draw a sketch. Grab a circle, select the horizontal plane, select the origin. The inner diameter of our ball bearing was 8 millimeters, so type in 8, press return, grab another circle, start on the origin. The outer diameter was 22, press return. Now zoom out, go somewhere lower down on the y-axis. Grab another circle. Let's draw a circle that's a little bit larger than our ball bearing. So let's type in 25 since our ball bearing was 22. Press return. Now let's pattern this and create 6 of these. So go to Sketch, pull down Circular Pattern. The object we're trying to pattern is the circle itself, and the center point is our origin. And we want to create a total of 6. Say OK. Now grab the center of one of these circles and pull them together until they're tangent to each other. Click out of it, go to Sketch, grab the Trim tool, and let's trim out some of these circles, every other circle. And here you'll see where we're going. This is the basic design of our widget. Now, a widget has a core, that's the ball bearing. It has a body, which is what we have created here, and then it has weights that maintain the balance of the widget. For aesthetic purposes, we'll make the weights the same size as our ball bearing. So let's grab another circle and click here. And our ball bearing had an outer diameter of 22. Return. and it had an inner diameter of 8. So grab another circle, press here, 8, return, return. And now we're going to pattern these two circles also. So go to Sketch, Circular Pattern, select this one and this one. These are the two objects being patterned. And the center point is the origin again. And press OK. And stop sketch. Now we're ready to extrude our shapes. Let's expose our ball bearing. And let's go to the home view. Say extrude. We're going to select our body, which is here, and this outer ring. That's the body of our spinner. 4 profiles have been selected, and we're going to do a symmetric extrusion up and down. Let's go to an orthographic view, and we want it to be the same thickness as our, or more or less the same thickness as our ball bearing. So it looks like our ball bearing is about 6 millimeters thick, and we're going to do 3 millimeters up, 3 millimeters down, and make sure you select new component. And this is important. In order for animations to work, everything needs to be defined in terms of components that can move, not bodies, because bodies cannot move. So new component. Okay. Let's go to the home view. Good. Let's go to modify and give this a color. Let's select our plastic and let's make it blue. Just grab it, drag it over here. Good. Next, we need to put in our weights. So let's reveal our sketch again. And say extrude. Grab this circle here. And again, do a two-sided symmetric extrusion. The distance was 3 millimeters. And we're going to select all of these, 3 profiles selected, and we're going to create all of them as a single new component and press OK. Very good. And the only thing else left is we need a shaft in the middle of it so that we can hold the widget with our fingers. So again, go to extrude, grab this circle, and do another symmetric extrusion, 3 millimeters on each side, new component. Okay. Again, let's change the color of that centerpiece, appearance, blue plastic in the middle, say close, good. Now we have the weights as a single component, the body as one component, the shaft as one component, but we also want the different parts of our ball bearing to be their own individual components. So let's go ahead and name everything just to make sure we're clear. Let's click on one of the weights. You'll see this component is underlined, so I'm going to double click on it and name it weight. Oops. Let's click on the body. call that body. Let's click on the shaft. Rename this shaft. Good. And now I'm going to go to my ball bearing and open it up, and you'll see all the bodies that are here. Let's click on each one. This one is the outer ring, so I'm going to rename it outer ring. Body 2 is the inner ring. Body 3, which may be in a different location on your list, is the innermost ring. And all the other bodies are the individual balls. I want to combine all of these balls into a single body and then into a single component. So I'm going to go to Modify, pull down the Combine command. For my target, I'll select the first ball. As the tool bodies, I'll shift select the remaining balls and say Join into a new component. And this is the new component. I'll call it balls. Let's etch our initials on this outer ring. It'll help us visualize the movement later. So go to Sketch and pull down the text command. Click on the surface of the outer ring and place your cursor there and put in your initials or whatever else you want to put there. The size is 2 millimeters in height, and press OK. And let's go ahead and stop sketch. Next thing, we're going to extrude those texts. Right now it's hidden under my body, so I'm going to hide my bodies so I can select my initials. And then I'll extrude. I can reveal the bodies again and pull the handle out. And I want a cutting operation, so that's good. Good. Now I'm going to hide all of my sketches. There's one last thing we have to do. We forgot to turn these 3 bodies into components. So I'm going to shift select all 3 of them and right click and say create components from bodies. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 components which we can animate. Let's go to the animation workspace. The first thing you should do when you enter this workspace is go to your storyboard, which is down here, and grab this time bar and move it to the rest position over that red curtain. This way, anything you do in the next few seconds won't be recorded. Now you can position your object the way you want to. For example, you can move it around, you can zoom in and out, you can tilt it. Good. The next thing I want to do is I want to explode this model. So I'm going to move my time bar to, let's say, the 2-second time point. The explode transformation will take place in the first 2 seconds. Basically, the way animation works in this workspace is that you move your time bar to the end of the time point you want, and then you fill that gap with whatever movements you desire. So I have 2 seconds to fill. I'm going to go to my transform menu and say explode all levels. It says no available components for exploding. That's because I didn't select anything. So I'm going to go and select everything. There we go. Now I have all of my components selected. You can look over here, and I'm going to do that again. auto explode all levels. It's going to take a few seconds. I can scale the explosion if I need to. I can press the check mark. I can move everything up and click out of it. Now I can replay the explosion. That's good. I'm happy with that. Let's say I want to reassemble everything back together. That's very simple to do. I go to my storyboard, right click, say copy, right click again, say paste. It has created a copy of my storyboard, which is identical to my original. I'm going to go to the copy, right click, and say reverse. Okay, so if I play this, it reassembles everything. So in the first storyboard, I am exploding everything, whereas in the second one, I'm reassembling everything. And these storyboards will follow each other in my ultimate published movie. The next thing I want to do is I want to turn this widget and simulate its motion. So I'm going to create a new storyboard if you want. I'm going to say start from the end of the previous storyboard, so that's good. That's my third storyboard. And again, the time bar is at 1 second. Let's say I want to show the movement over a 2-second period, so I move it to 2 seconds. During this time, I want to first re-angle this, so I'll go like this. Maybe I want to zoom in a little bit. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do all of this movement and zooming in and out. All Fusion cares about is what your final and initial models look like. And it'll find a path to get from the initial time point to the final time point. And now I want to turn it. So I'm going to select the bodies I want to turn. So I hold the shift button. I select the weight components. I select the body component. And I select the outer ring. And I say transform components. Transformation basically allows me to either translate the objects or rotate them. In this case, I want to rotate these three components. So I gotta make sure that my pivot point is at the correct place, which it is. That's that circle over here. It's right at the center of my object. And then I'm going to grab this and rotate it. If I go all the way to 360, it'll think 360 is the same as 0, so it won't move anything. So I'm just going to go to 350 and say OK. And click out of it. Now let's play that and see what it looks like. So it's repositioning and zooming in and rotating my object. I can go another 2 seconds. I can look at the top face, for example. I can zoom out, reposition, shift select my weights, my body, and the outer ring, and say transform components. Again, make sure that my pivot point is at the center, which it is, and rotate this another 350 and say OK. Now let's see what that looks like. Good. So now we're going to publish this video, and it will publish all 3 storyboards in sequence. So I'm going to say publish all storyboards and OK. Give it a name. Let's look at the published video. Do it again. Explode, reassemble, reposition, and spin. That's it for today's lesson.